probably a year.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, I mean, one, I loved the sketch you put out today, but also even just with that, because I mean, people have heard us bitch about how LA's been during quarantine. Not anything specific, but being in a populated area. I mean, Drew, you're in Orlando, but like, how have things been for you? Is it like, can you do you have like maybe space to hang out outside or?
So it's funny. When the quarantine started, we live in a very walkable area, so way more people are out walking than normal. Around like 5 or 6 p.m. every day, just because it's like, well, we're inside all day, so now we have to go for a walk. But especially the past week or so, it's been pretty discouraging to walk through. Like we went out with our masks, walking down through the public area near where we live, and every restaurant was packed, no masks, people everywhere, more crowded, and we've lived here since before COVID and everything. Right. More crowded than we've ever seen it, because people are now responding to like, oh, we can do stuff. We're all gonna do stuff. And
it seems like a good deal of people were just social distancing because they would get shamed not to. And then, like, after they saw people in the protest, they're like, oh, no one's going to yell at me? Fuck it then. Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same way with masks, where there was a while where, like, if you weren't wearing a mask, people would probably give you, like, a weird look. You would feel like, oh, I should be doing what everyone else is doing. But now, at least here in Florida, which is, like, a country in its own, basically, everyone is just sort of like the quarantine or the pandemic doesn't exist anymore. We're not wearing masks. And now I feel weird wearing a mask when I shouldn't. I should feel like I'm being more whatever. But, yeah. What are you gonna do?
With that, it's so weird to me to think that, like, while there were cases in the U.S., just to think back, because it felt, I'd say at the beginning, kind of like swine flu, that we were all at Disney World together, like 2 weeks before quarantine. And it's just insane to me that it was like we were at conventions and airports and Disney World, and then immediately it was like, go indoors. Disney World is closed.
Yeah. The final month before quarantine, I was in Orlando's playlist in Disney World and went to Las Vegas, and then like we're seeing friends from all over, and now it's like the most like populated things that I could possibly do, and it's like I probably won't be able to do those things for at least a year,
Yeah, I'm really glad that we all had a playlist and that Disney World day to hang out, because we, obviously VidCon is scrapped now. Would we be at VidCon right now?
I think we would be, yeah.
I think so, yeah. Today's the 14th? I think so, yeah.
That makes me so sad, actually. It would be like all the boys together, and we're just, in our homes on a Discord call. Fuck, that actually hit me on. Well, yeah, I'm glad we got that, because, we're missing out on it. I mean, I haven't seen Danny in like 6 months, I think. I mean, also along with like my mom, which is a little bit more of a priority, but also Danny. Aside from that dumb bullshit, not Gus, sorry. I don't give a shit about Gus. Drew, what have you been playing during quarantine?
Oh, what have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of 2K. That's been my go-to because I just love watching the sweat. I just get really excited about all the sweat that they have.
Right.
I've never seen a game feature as much sweat as 2K. And then next year they seem to have promised even more sweat. So I'm really excited for that. Other than that, I've been playing Dying Light, which you told me to play a while ago, and I bought it when you told me to. Played it for like an hour, and I was like, this is fun, and then I gave up. But
did you play with us for like an hour, or did you play it by yourself?
No, I played it by myself, because I think you told me to get it, but you had already stopped playing it.
Right, yeah.
So I was like, I'll try it, and I liked it, but I just didn't think anything of it. Then fast forward to a few weeks ago, my friends and I, who used to play Dead Island back, which is a far inferior game. We used to play that on the 360. It was like $8 or something, and we were looking for something to play. So we're like, oh, let's play that again. And at first it was like, oh, this is fun. We're reliving the nostalgia. The game is there was more fun to be had playing that game with friends, because of the shittiness of the game, because of the glitches, the bad mechanics. Like we would drive a car and just get it stuck in the weirdest place, and then get another car to try to drive into it and get it out, and then they'd both be stuck, and we would just laugh our ass off, and it was so much fun. And then we just got to the point where we're like, wait, this game sucks. We need to stop playing it. Then we play Dying Light, and immediately it's like, why did we withhold this from ourselves? It's so fun. It's so good.
It's Dying Light for anybody hearing us talk about it. If you're looking for a game to play with friends during quarantine, it is just like, I think Dying Light, even though it was like kind of a cult classic and it did sell pretty well and people are excited for the second one, I would say Dying Light was probably the most underrated game of that whole generation, where you play it and you're like, how the fuck was this not more popular?
Yeah, I definitely missed the boat on it. But playing it with friends it's so fun.
I think it was at the end of the zombie trend where, do you guys remember they were actually using the term zombie fatigue for the genre? And so I think it was like by that point, everyone was just like, I don't want to fucking kill zombies again. But I think we're all maybe leaning back into it again.
What season of The Walking Dead were we on already at that point? Like season 4, and now they're on season 20 or whatever. And it's like, there's definitely everyone got really excited about zombies, and then a bunch of movies and shit came out. It's like, okay, that's enough. But then going back to it, oh my God, it's so fun. And there's so many little details in it. Last night I was playing, and I was just swimming through the ocean trying to catch up to my friends, and I had like a jump scare moment because there was like a dead human body in the ocean, which is weird because like there's dead bodies everywhere, but they're all like mangled, they're zombies or whatever. It's weird to see like a dead like human woman, and so I told them, I was like, guys, you got to come see this, and they were like, what the hell? And then we realized I was right next to a cliff, and so we climb up to the top of the cliff, and like all her stuff is at the top of the cliff. Oh man! And it's just like, the story that is implied that she just like jumped off or whatever onto the rocks, and it's like that, but it's such a little detail. It's not part of the game. I love shit like that. Discovering that and be like, guys, look at this.
And I would assume
it's so cool.
I would assume too, like the way they probably meant for people to discover it would be, you see that stuff and then you look out and see her. And so I just love the way you came across it, because it's just like, the fact
I was like, why is this body here? I gotta investigate. Then you look,
I love just little world building shit like that. Like you're playing like Skyrim or something, and you come across like a skeleton with a chest full of like arrows, and he's reaching for a health potion. Just those little world building elements are so fun.
I love that. Yeah, that's what sets apart the games that are like, that they just spend a shit ton of time on. They work on all these little details, because I've been saying with Dying Light, the second one is coming out soon, but the first one came out 5 years ago. They could have easily pumped out a sequel by now, but I have such high hopes for the sequel because of how much time they put into it, and you have to put that much time into it if you're going to have all these little details for people to discover and shit like that feels like you're going off the beaten path to find it. Like Red Dead 2 had a lot of stuff like that. Like those things that just like it creates the world, and it's so fun. I love this game.
Drew, did you put a lot of time? Oh, go for it, Eddie.
I was just gonna say, there was a moment in Red Dead 2 that was like that, but then I was so disappointed with it, where it was kind of agreeing with like kind of Jakey's problem with the game,
because everyone had the same.
Yeah, I think I was on the property for like, I don't know if it was some kind of like plantation type area. And I had walked into one part of the woods, and there was an outhouse with a chain around it, and there was somebody like screaming inside of it. And I was like, oh, what's going to happen if I shoot the chain? And then I go check inside of it, shot the chain, nothing happened. And then I'm like, oh, can I like dynamite it? And nothing happened. And there's just that broken moment where it's like, who do I have to go talk to involve myself here? It would have been so goddamn cool if it, like, even if you can talk to somebody to go out there, you could just skip that by opening the outhouse yourself.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and a lot of games have stuff like that. Like, you can go start a mission, but maybe you already did what the mission is. So you talk to this person, they're like, hey, can you go find my friend? And you're like, oh, wait, hold on, I actually already did that. And so depending on whether you actually saw it or not, that the game changes. I hate that, like, hold your hand through everything type of thing.
Yeah. Did you put a lot of time into Red Dead, Drew? Because I still have I played 5 hours as soon as I got my PS4 Pro, or PS4 Pro, and then I just didn't touch it. And I don't know why I'm not even trying to play it, but I just don't want to dive in, kind of.
I had a similar Yeah, similar to like Jakey and you guys, like I got really into it first. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's slow, but like I'm digging the world. I can tell there's a lot of detail here. I played it for maybe 20 or 30 hours. I don't know. I got kind of into it. And then I just sort of stopped playing one day, and the thought of going back to it at a certain point became overwhelming because of how many things I would have to relearn, the language of the game you have to familiarize yourself with, and I never finished it.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I talked about this with Eddie, and I'm curious to hear what your opinion is. But like when you think about those giant games where you can pour dozens, if not hundreds, of hours into them, and it isn't just a linear story, like stuff like that, Breath of the Wild, Skyrim. When you revisit these games, are you able to start over, or like? Because me personally, I got the same Skyrim files for like 5 years and shit. Like if I go back to Breath of the Wild, I'm like, I can't start over. Like I don't know why I have that inability. But what is your approach?
I think it depends. For me, it's hard to go back to a loaded save file, because then I'm like, what was I in the middle of doing?
Same.
What is my setup like? What combat am I? With Skyrim. I mean, I've replayed Skyrim so many different times. So like just randomly loading one, I'm like, I don't know what my choices were. I don't know. And I think it's the idea of replaying a game from the beginning sounds fun, but then I never make it as far as I think I'm going to. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start over and re-experience this. And then it's like, okay, well, I already did all this. What am I doing?
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I put so many roadblocks for myself where it's like I could go back and re-explore these games, like even taking a few years off and being like, I'm going to wipe the slate clean, hit Skyrim again, something like that. In the moment, I am such a hoarder in video games and stuff. Like, I gotta be running against every edge of the wall, picking up every item, and then I'm like, in the long term, I'm creating this mental roadblock for myself where I'm like, if I just know I'm gonna restart this game in a year, why should it matter for me to pick up this unique item right now? And it's like, that's silly, but at the same time, it's like, well, I want my things to have a little bit more weight here. I don't know. Just frustrating.
Yeah. So you're the type to try to 100% a game as you're going through.
Without a doubt.
Like I've always been that way too. Like if there was a literal moment where in Dying Light last night, there was like arrows pointing in the way, and it's like, well, if the arrow's pointing that way, I got to see what's over here first.
Yeah.
Why would I go the way I know I'm supposed to if there's something over here? My thing is, this is more of a newer thing. Like, I 100% games, or I have that mindset as I'm going, and then I don't even finish the game.
That's it. And it's like, are you conscious of it too? Where you're like, I know I'm not going to finish this dumb shit, but I've got to go get that Firefly pendant on my 10th playthrough of The Last of Us right now.
Exactly. And sometimes it's tedious shit too, where it's like, it's collectibles. It doesn't affect the game at all, but I'm going to go out of my way to find it. With Spider-Man, I remember, so there are all these little things, and I enjoyed exploration. That game especially is one of those games that's like, it rewards you for exploring. But I did so much exploring, I put off the story for as long as possible. I was exploring like every rooftop to find like the backpacks and stuff. And I was like finding 30 out of 30 of whatever these collectible items are, and I never finished the game. I got like halfway through. I just enjoy the tedium of like going through a collection log more so than playing the actual game. But
that's
I don't
where
know.
I'm the opposite with it. Is like I don't really care about collectibles, and I do finish the game, where it's just like a completely different play style. I think for me, I know if I start caring about a collectible that I know doesn't get you any upgrade or doing anything, I'm like, it's just gonna bother me that I don't have all of them, so it's just not even worth it.
I wish I could just get over that hump, because it would especially replays are the biggest thing where it becomes so tedious, because I am not as good at just floating around to a bunch of different games kind of passively. Like I like trying to dive in and being like, I am giving a shit about almost exclusively this world for at least like a couple weeks or something. But then it's like, if I have one of my favorite games of all time come around, it's like, well, I know I'm going to replay this a bunch. Like, oh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to play BioShock Infinite again. And then it's like, I know if I go over to that section of the map, it's going to take 10 minutes, and I'm going to pick up like a photograph that doesn't add to my gameplay experience, and I don't need it. Why am I going to get that shit? I just, it wastes my own time more than anything.
Right. It's funny. So often I hear campaigns and games described by the number of hours it takes to complete them. They'll throw out whatever. It's like a 10-hour campaign or whatever. And then I'm thinking back, like when I played, I was like, I probably tripled that. Yeah. Because I'm not in a hurry to finish. I'm like, I got to see what's over there. I'm like, yeah, I'm just doing too much. I spend like Dying Light half the time. I'm just, I gotta optimize my inventory. Gotta figure out what. I don't need this gun. This is taking up space. Oh, I can make some med kits. It's just shit that's. I'm not even playing the game. I'm just preparing for more game in the future.
So
Oh, sorry.
Oh no. I was gonna shift a little bit. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the last thing. Yeah, with survival games, that's the extra torture because even for me, it's like I'm always planning for moments. And then when the moment actually comes, I'm not thinking about how I plan for it. I'm just using the guns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, like, dude, I'm replaying Resident Evil 4, which is probably the game I've replayed the most. I might be on my 12th playthrough, like full-on playthrough right now. And it's like, I know I'm going to finish the game with hundreds of valuable bullets that I could have just used, like, just pissed away in the wind. And I'm just hoarding them the whole game. And I'm like, why am I fucking doing this? Like, this is just pointless.
I hoard consumables in games like crazy. I go out of my way to find more, and I'm like, that's with Skyrim. I've always been that. I know Skyrim. It's the same thing. Like, I've played it so many times. I know it. I know that I don't need this many whatever potions. I know that I should just use like a strength thing or whatever to make a fight easier. But I'm like, but maybe I could do it without it, and then I can save that for the future. And then I never fucking use it.
Yeah.
I saw a YouTube video about that. I forget who it was. It was like why I never use consumables in games, and it was that kind of mindset of like you just want to save it for the right moment. And then you just ignore all of these moments where it could be the right moment if you just fucking use it. But you finish the game with like a million extra things, all this extra ammo. It's like, man. And I'm trying to overcome that mental roadblock where it's like, I would rather just use it and then regret it than like hold on to it until the end of the game and be like, oh, I should have used that earlier. Like, why didn't I use that earlier when I could have made that fight easier? But
yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
With that, then like it's like we can't help it. It's just the way our brains are programmed for those certain things.
Yeah,
it's so dumb when your brain is telling you like this is dumb, but you're gonna do it though.
But Gus, did you have something separate you wanted to
say? Yeah. Well, Drew, I was gonna say too. You know, you mentioned 2K before. Like, are you somebody that kind of follows these annualized sporting franchises? Like, what are some ones you enjoy?
So I have been writing and rewriting a million times a video I want to make about the decline of sports games. And I'm really excited about it, but it's something that's so important to me that I want to make sure it's right. And I don't want to like, if I have to have like a sponsored video in a month, like I don't want to be like, oh shit, I need to finish this video whether it's actually done because I have a deadline. So I just keep putting it off and off and off. But I am very passionate about sports games. I played Madden my whole life. Madden 20 was the first one I didn't buy since 2003. Every year, for 17 straight years, I bought Madden. I played it religiously. And then Madden 20, I was finally like, I'm tired of supporting EA. They lie to us every year. They're like, oh, this is going to be better. New thing is going to be in the game. And then it never is. Or they just take like a feature and they rename it. It's like, oh, the new Frostbite engine. And you're like, oh, cool. So the game's going to look better? No, but the engine has a new name. And it's like, well, then who fucking cares? Or the new graphics engine is only for the cutscenes in this story mode that you're not even going to play. It's not for the actual game. It's like, well, then I don't. Oh, great. The little movies in the game look better. But yeah. And so I've started playing 2K recently just because it's a better game. And but I'm starting to get to the point where I think what needs to happen with sports games is they need to stop releasing them every year because I think they get stuck in this dev cycle of like, first of all, 1 year is not enough time to make any significant changes to a game, especially with something like Madden. You're spending half of that time fixing the problems from the last game. So you're not even working on the next game. You release a game for $60 before it's ready. It's broken. There's all these new bugs. They take a game that's already bad and make it worse by adding new bugs into it because they didn't have enough time to play test them. Then they spend all this time patching it and fixing it. And then the same thing happens next year. And it's like, there should be like one version of a basketball game per console or per generation is what I think. Then or at least just release it when it's ready, 2 or 3 years, whatever it takes. It makes me
sorry. Do they do the model like Call of Duty where like does 2K have 3 developers cycling through or is it just the same one every year?
It's just one.
Oh
Madden
my
is the same.
God.
It's EA Sports. It's same. Yeah. There's no. Yeah, and people like. We wonder, like, oh, how come Madden 20 is the same as Madden 19, except they added one thing? It's like, because they didn't have any fucking time to add anything. Why do we expect that the game would be better? At least with 2K has been a better game, so they're not adding a lot of like new things every year, but at least it's still a good game. It's just like disappointing, but it's still annoying. It's like I'm spending $60 for a roster update basically when there's nothing new. And they make all their money from microtransactions anyway. They make way more money from the card packs that they sell in the game than the game itself. So there's no reason to even charge $60 for it. I don't know. It's something I'm extremely passionate about and has no effect on any real world problems. But
I think that's fucking cool. That's really cool. And dude, one thing I was specifically thinking about the other day, like in terms of sports games and stuff, is I remember when I was younger, like I used to follow professional football. I think I was telling you in Florida, like I used to follow it a lot more heavily, when I was coming out of elementary school to about the end of middle school. And then I just, I fell off on it too. But when I was a kid, I would get my hands on any video games that I could. And a lot of the times, inevitably that was like sports games for the PC and stuff. And I was thinking, like, from a market perspective, has the I'm trying to think of how to say this. Has the amount of different like licenses and IPs and stuff just shrank over time? So it's like you're kind of just hitting the heavy hitters like Madden and 2K and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like dude, I found my CD collection from like, the early 2000s and late 90s and stuff like that. And I was pulling shit out there like Wheaties All-Star Baseball. And here I have a disc in front of me right now that I just found in a closet that is called Al Unser Jr. Arcade Racing for Windows. And I'm like, who the fuck is Al Unser Jr.? Like, could anyone just get a video game?
Dude, there's shit like that. Like the 2K games used to have it where you could fucking, you could like become a professional football player and like buy furniture for your mansion and shit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, to me, the peak of football video games was like 2005 because there was 2K. 2K was still allowed to make football games, and theirs was better than Madden. And then there was also like NFL Game Day was another one. The point was there was multiple options, and then in 2005 the NFL and EA came to an exclusive agreement. So okay, now only Madden. Madden is the only football game now. And so Madden was good at the time, but there was no competition from that point on for the next 15 years. It was a 15-year agreement. No competition. It's like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen?
God damn.
When you say EA Sports, you get this game every year. It's the only football game. If people want to play a football game, they have to buy it. It's like, why do they have any incentive to make it good?
Right.
And even though people have been complaining, you can look at like the Metacritic scores. You can search. Go on YouTube and search Madden bad. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos. And they, even though all of that, they don't care. The NFL just re-signed again with EA for another 5 years of exclusivity. And it's just, the consumer just gets fucked. And that's why it's so frustrating. It's like, of course Madden is bad because no matter what they do, people are still going to buy it. I was that way where I bought it every year. And now I'm like, no, I'm just not going to buy it anymore. The game makes me mad.
Especially because
it makes me more mad than happy. I'm not going to do that to myself.
Yeah, with microtransactions now, they can afford people giving up on the series because then if they keep, say, 10%, but they spend like 50 times more on microtransactions, you still make more money. So they can be as long as we have a hold on gambling addiction of a small group, we'll still make the same amount of money with low effort.
Yeah, as long as we have this weird form of legalized gambling that children can take part in, then we know that we're set. And you have YouTubers that sort of perpetuate the cycle too, where they have all these videos of like opening card packs, and they spend hundreds of dollars until they finally get the cool card that they're looking for. And then kids watch it and they're like, "Oh, I want the cool card, so I'm going to go spend money." And they don't get it because it's a roll of a dice, and the dice is rigged in favor of the game. So it's. Yeah, it makes me mad.
Why?
But back on like you were saying, Gus, so like back in like the old days, there were so many just random ass sports games. Like all the backyard games were great. Backyard football, backyard baseball.
Dude, NFL Street fucking slapped too. That shit was fun.
NFL Street was incredible. That was so fun. You can go back and play that now on the PS2, and it holds up. It's still just like a fun game. And that's what's crazy about Madden too, is like there are games that you can go and play on the PS2 or the 360, and like they play better than Madden does. Obviously, they don't look as good, but like they just have a fluidity to them or something that's fun about the gameplay that is more fun to play than a game that came out now. It's so frustrating.
It's insane.
Why? And then what was another one for baseball? Even there was one. Did you ever play MLB Slugfest?
Oh no, I didn't do that one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So you could put in like these cheat codes or whatever, and like you could have like the guy, all their heads would be on fire. You hit the if the pitcher hit the batter, then he could like charge the pitcher and beat him up, and it was like. Shit like that is like they were so creative, I feel like, with sports games, and now it's just like you can play Madden or 2K or FIFA and they all suck and that's all you get.
God, that is a huge fucking bummer. Why by the way, and if any of this shit is just too revealing for what we're gonna inevitably see in your video anyway, like you don't have to answer stuff, but why the fuck did John Madden's name get attached so early? Was he just like ahead of like the curve and being like, maybe I should kind of go in on the naming scheme shit for this like football video game stuff? Like why is he the name of the biggest football franchise stuff now?
Well, I would assume that he invested in making the original ones because I think when did Madden start? Like 96 or something like that?
80, I think 85.
Oh, holy shit!
Let
me
look that up. Shit.
I didn't know that at all.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm realizing maybe that's totally wrong. Maybe it was like 90. First Madden game, okay, 1990. Okay. I don't know why I thought 85.
Still, that's the middle ground between those two.
Yeah.
I think he invested in that probably, and I would guess that John Madden had such a pull with the NFL that's why that deal was made, because it's like no matter which one's the better game, he was still like, around at the time, like in 2005, where he could totally just be like, I'm sure he was just like friends with everybody at the NFL.
Of course, and I think that ultimately his namesake contributed to the NFL's decision to like, okay, which developer are we going to get married to? Well, obviously the one with John Madden's name on it, and they don't. And it sucks too with these decisions where you have probably a room full of 5 like old white guys who don't know anything about video games, and they're just looking at some graphs like, well, see, last year we scammed this many people and got this much money from microtransactions. And so the old white guy's like, cool, yeah, well, let's more Madden for everyone. Who cares what the consumers are actually saying? That is the depressing reality of sports games, where you have just a handful of out of touch people making decisions that screw over millions of consumers.
That really is frustrating.
And then they have the fucking... Oh, sorry.
Where, like, they don't have... How hard would it be to, like, kind of roll the dice on something? Bring in a new guy. Bring in a couple more... Just a few people that are more, like, kind of internet savvy, that are listening specifically to some of these threads and stuff. I don't know. It's just frustrating.
What I don't understand is they have the nerve at, like, E3 to then come out, and it's everyone's least favorite part of every gaming conference when they start talking about fucking FIFA. And it's like people care about FIFA, but FIFA fans don't need some guy in a suit to come out and say what's new about things. Just fucking put it out in a release. They know it's going to be the same game next year.
Madden to me is made by people who have a background in marketing and not video games or sports. That's why one of the reasons I like 2K better is just there are things in the game that it's like, okay, at least the people who are making this have seen a basketball game before. But Madden, it's just like the features that they try to get us excited about are like, if you've ever cared about football in your life, you wouldn't give a shit about that. Why is that? You're like, oh, we're bringing the Pro Bowl back this year. No one watches the Pro Bowl, and the Pro Bowl used to be in the game until you took it out for no reason, and then they re-release it as a new feature. It's like, fuck you. I remember when it was in the game for 15 years.
The feature is something stupid that some people are asking for, and then instead of calling it Pro Bowl, for some reason it's called, like, Ultimate Game or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you do this?
It always seemed, for even somebody that, like, is not, like, I do not follow those series at all, but it seems like when I do see them mentioned, a large push is just like, look how much prettier it looks this year. And like,
that's all
I don't care, like, about that. Like, I already know going into it.
It better be fucking pretty.
Yeah, and it's like, I already know going into it. I'm like,
a given.
This is going to not be a very good looking video game relative to anything that's out. It's like, that's not going to sell me a fucking copy of Madden. It's like, look at the sheen on the helmets, the glistening on the grass. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
One thing is, I think that's originally why you said the sweaty thing, Drew, too, is, they'll always with 2K make the player really sweaty when they announce it. And then, like, it makes the graphics look better, and people will compare, like, oh, look how much better it looks with sweaty player compared to dry player last year. And if you just show the sweaty picture from last year, it's the same goddamn game again.
Right, just with more sweat. And Madden, they're very aware of that too. So Madden is at a point where like you click on like a player in franchise mode or whatever, and it just shows him standing in the locker room, full uniform, covered in sweat, because it looks better to have sweat on. But it's like, why is he sweating if he's just standing there? He's not playing the game. It's so.
And also,
dumb,
it's like, look how good this close-up sweat looks. Now back to the game where the camera resides about 75 feet above that. You never even see that.
You can't even see the sweat. Who cares?
Also, one thing that I hate that they took out of Madden games, which was my favorite as a kid, is being able to run off of the field and just through the wall of the stadium. You remember where you could just dip in and out of the wall all the time?
Yeah.
And then I remember they added a border, and it's like, come on, guys. I love doing this shit for a funny replay.
If you were to go through the past like 20 Maddens, and wanted to pick and choose like the best features or the best version of any particular feature from whatever game it was, it wouldn't be any of the recent ones. It'd be like maybe the best this is from '07, and then the best this is from '08. There was one point where after you scored a touchdown, you could still control your player for a little bit, and you could run to a certain part of the end zone and do a different celebration, or just run in circles or dive and do whatever. Just like a fun thing to like, oh, I scored a touchdown and I can still control the guy. But now it's like you can do a celebration after a touchdown, but it's like you hit a button and then they just show you an animation of it, and it's like it's more like it was fun when I could control it, and I don't understand. Maybe this looks better, but no one. It doesn't matter how it looks if it doesn't play good, if it's not fun to actually play.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
A big fucking bummer.
So fuck EA. Gus,
Fuck EA.
do you want to get into, and check it out, some Drew Guntas today? That's Drew questions in Spanish.
Why didn't you call him Predruntas?
That was so. I'm sorry. That's so much better. I'll retire.
That's okay.
I'm just
Drews.
First, a word from our sponsor, Al Unser Jr. Arcade Racing. All right. Follow us on Twitter, everybody, at Eddie Burback, at Gus Buckets, and are you at Drew Is Gooden?
Most certainly am.
Ooh, that's a good little username, guy. Why don't you stick with it?
Thanks. I will. Thank you.
All right, so into our preguntas. That's English-speaking viewers. That's questions. Here's a question from Ethan Moore. Says, disagreement. In quarantine, I got my dad into Breath of the Wild. He plays it all the time, even in the bathroom. This is our family shared Switch. I think that this is gross, but he does not see the problem here. Who is right?
it's your family
Switch,
and your dad is taking a shit and getting his shit fingers all over. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Who is right?
I'm conflicted.
What's that good?
Because I'm conflicted because from for hygiene reasons, obviously it's gross. I hope maybe he can just get a Lysol wipe that baby down every time. But on the other hand, it's like if my dad got really into Breath of the Wild, one of my favorite games, I would be willing to let it slide just because I think that'd be such a cool bonding thing to talk about the game and get to like have shared experiences. But wipe that shit down.
Drew, what if he only played it in the bathroom? So that was like a full compromise.
And he played, we're assuming like hundreds of hours.
Oh, well, he's going getting all 999 Korok seeds, so yeah.
Of course. So
he's ordering triple the meals, so he has to poop more. So he can play Breath of the Wild.
Your dad gets a crippling
scarfing down
case.
food in there. Yeah, he's playing with one hand, eating with the other. So as long as he's constantly eating, poop is constantly coming out. I think that's how it works.
I would say, with this disagreement, like you said, Drew, it's like, yeah, you're right, but I wouldn't correct my dad because that's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did your parents give a shit about like your video game stuff when you were growing up, Drew? Did they ever come in and say like, "What's going on? What are you doing? What's happening here?"
A little bit. With Madden and sports games in general, like my dad is also a sports fan, so we could talk about that. And he we'd play with each other every once in a while, go against each other. He would always beat me, even though he would never play the game, and I would play it all the time. He would come in and whoop my ass, and it's like, God damn it, how are you better at this? You don't even practice like I do. But with other games, it was like, I had similar experiences to a lot of people where it's like you start playing online games and you have to explain to your mom that you can't just pause it. You have to finish the game first. Or with like Kingdom Hearts, I have to get to a save point. I can't save right now. Mm-hmm. That was sort of the introduction of my parents being like, this shit sucks. I miss when they could just pause the game or do whatever and just get off, or I could go in there and turn it off while they're playing and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember it was my dad actually like in the moment apologized to me for it. I was like 11 and I was playing a zombies game with 3 other friends, and he told me to take out the trash, and I didn't realize he didn't know how zombies worked. And so he got kind of mad at me and thought I wasn't listening to him. And we were breaking our zombies round record, and he turned the Xbox off. And I straight up, which I would never do at like 11 or 12, was just kind of like, do you know what you did? And like he like immediately was like, you could see in his eyes like, holy shit, I didn't realize. And I was like, I have to go to all of my friends and explain to why I just like ruined the record for us.
No.
And yeah, he apologized. It was one of those moments where it's like, I don't blame him for not knowing how much zombies matters to a 12-year-old, you know, like.
Yeah.
But goddamn, that moment, dude.
I think
that's a heartbreaker.
Do you remember similar thing of parents not knowing the weird intricacies of video games? Do you remember with the Xbox 360, if you moved the Xbox while a game was playing, it would just destroy the game?
Mm-hmm. I did that to the one of the we got Kung Fu Panda and Lego Indiana Jones Xbox bundle, and Tony loved Indiana Jones, and I didn't know, and I moved the Xbox and destroyed it within 1 week of having it. So yes.
Yeah, that's one of those lessons you had to learn the hard way. There was no like but I think my mom did that once. She came in and it was like on its side, or I was standing up, so she set it down while something was playing, and I was like, no mom. and sure enough, I got the unable to read disc, the saddest thing to see.
Did it just scratch it, or what did it do?
So the game was spinning in there, and it wasn't like locked down very well. There was too much freedom of movement, I guess. So if you moved it, it would just get this giant ass scratch ring right in the middle, and you could see it. You took the game out, and it was like I remember like GameStop they wouldn't even take a game. It's like that's the first thing they'd look at. Yeah, I'm not taking this game back. There's a giant fucking ring on it. I know what happened, and I know why you're trying to sell it.
Damn.
The worst thing too is it made just this awful noise when it happens too. Just this fucking, like, when it happens that the game is broken without a doubt. It's just this like deep like printer whirring noise, and you're like, that game is just gone.
Yeah, it's like a 15-second period of just your heart singing to your stomach, where you hear the noise, you're like clenching your whole body because you're like, no, and then you're watching the game, is it gonna? And then the game freezes, and then you get the unable to read disc, and it's just this. It's like getting beat up by your Xbox. It's so sad.
Yeah, and I at the time too, even with that Indiana Jones one, I had no money, and so we just never got that game. Tony hasn't played it since. It just like ruined the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
I remember.
Guess you got another.
Yeah, just I didn't have one of those game wrecker things, but in terms of like my parents fucking stuff up was, I remember we got a Wii, I think like early high school stuff, and I was playing old GameCube games on there, and I didn't have a GameCube memory card yet, and one of the first games I'd played was Super Mario Sunshine. So we had placed an order for a GameCube memory card, and I knew that the game was coming, or like the card was coming in like a week, but I wanted to play Super Mario Sunshine so bad that I just left the Wii on for like a week straight in our family TV room. And we have a light switch in here that directly shuts off all of the power to like the outlets, and I every day, multiple times a day, I went and I told everyone, I was like, nobody shut off this light switch. I have like 30 shine sprites into Super Mario Sunshine. Like I will, like the whole game will be wrecked. Like please. And it was on like one of the last days. My mom came in because like I didn't empty the dishwasher or something. She just goes, "Hey," and hit the switch. She's like, "Do that right now." Like, no! It's like I worked for a week for this.
You know what you? Yeah.
Dude, I'm sure I've mentioned this on the podcast before too, and I will say it also is not Tony's fault for this one. It just happens to be it where I love Rock Band 2 so much. I love playing it. And here's the fucking bingo card for some of you guys. One of my friends, Zach, we love playing Rock Band together, and Tony's just like doesn't really like, he likes it for a little bit but doesn't like it playing it for a long time. And once you get toward the end of the Rock Band 2 campaign, there is a set list that is like 86 songs long, and the challenge is you have to play it through and you can't exit out or like continue the progress.
Oh no! Already.
So what happened was Zach was at my house all day, and we were playing through it with 2 instruments. And Zach had to go home for dinner. And I was like, hey, Tony, can you do a couple of songs with me? Just keep this going. And Tony did a couple. And then he didn't want to do any more. Rightfully so. This is not his fault. But I was very bitter because we were like in 8th grade. And then, so Tony doesn't want to play anymore. And so I wait for Zach to come over that night. And I didn't realize that the settings on our Xbox were set to shut off if it was left on idle for like 6 hours. So we came back downstairs and the Xbox was off. And there was just that like booting up the game of like, well, maybe it saved our progress. And it did not. This is the Xbox 360. So it was just like, I think we were probably 54 songs through. And think of just like the length of a song, how much time.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to do the math on that. What is that, like 7 or 8 hours?
Yeah,
straight?
It was like we were doing a marathon, and then like my legs disappeared in the middle of it. Like it was fucking, it was awful, man. And I will say unfairly, I was upset at Tony and reminded him for years, but that's not his fault. He just didn't want to play.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, I got another one for you. At 277CQ says, your death is based off of your last Google search. How did you die? It's like a Facebook Quizlet question here. Yeah,
I searched first Madden game earlier in our conversation. So
I'm looking for.
What's yours?
I can only briefly play it so we don't get claimed. But this is my last Google search. Let me boot it up real quick.
Why? What did you search like Benny Hill theme song or what?
Yeah, because I added a Stream Deck button to my stream where if somebody's running from someone in Gunfight or Warzone, I'm going to start playing the Benny Hill theme.
That's a good one.
But, yeah, so I don't know how my death is based on that. I guess maybe a killer is chasing me through the house, and that's the music.
How humiliating.
Whatever it is, it's a funny-ass death.
All right, let me find mine here.
I can't believe that was the last, because I was checking my history and other ones were like Twitter links from like memes friends sent me, but that was the last search was the Benny Hill theme.
How do I find
this? It's the last like song we searched for, or what was it?
It's just the last Google search. So I had searched on Google the Benny Hill theme. And so that was...
Well, mine is depressingly literal, where one of the last things I searched was like, what's a normal heart rate?
Oh, no!
So it's a pretty straightforward way to die.
Yeah.
Either
he Google searched before a heart attack.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Mine was Jaden Smith face tattoo.
You're so shocked that then you have a heart attack?
Yeah. Oh, I went to his Twitter because I don't follow him, but his AVI had like a bunch of face tats. I was like, does he actually have face tattoos? And I guess that was a pretend pic. So I don't know how I'm going to die from that, but fill in the blanks.
Well, he could be giving you a face tattoo, and then it just goes awry.
That's true.
And suddenly you're dead.
Or he kills you with his Karate Kid skills, and his face tattoo is the last thing that you see.
But what about his...
He kills you, and then gets a tattoo of your dead body on his face.
Humiliating. And then
the whole body just like on the ground.
And then he makes After Earth 2, and they don't blur out the tat, so your dead body face tat is in After Earth 2.
Oh man, the dream is to star in After Earth 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got one here for you.
I was just real quick going to say, like, that was such a bad one where I remember being slightly older than Jaden. I think he's like a couple years younger than all of us. And watching After Earth and being like, Will Smith is carrying this movie. And it's like, he's a child, and Will Smith had years and years of acting experience, and I'm getting mad at Jaden for not like crushing it with all the pressure in the world on him.
You couldn't pay me enough money to be in any celebrity kid situation like that, you know, like just even a really well-adjusted, healthy family and stuff. It's like I would not want that. So my goal is to get as unfamous as possible so I can give my kid a good life.
The healthiest one I think I've seen is Ben Stiller. That seemed like a good group for their family.
I don't even.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, him being the son of Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, and also his mom. They were